RaiseAThon.net. It's the station.
Hey,
How you feeling?
Doing well, feeling good. This is an exciting moment in the program's experience here. We are now live in the studio. I'm fully vaccinated, and we're doing good. We're doing really good. Thanks for allowing me to get in here. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
So it's really cool.
Absolutely.
And appreciate it. So and welcome everybody. We are here for episode 8. This is great. Today we are with Crystal Burrell and the Missing Plug. The Missing Plug. And just to reiterate, this is an ongoing conversation largely based around the business canvas. Each element of the business canvas is something that somebody has to think about in setting up their business plan. And I like to talk about all of those different things because it's important that we have a concentrated, focused effort to think about how your business is going to run around different aspects of and it's a starter, it's a prompt for how to begin thinking about a detailed business plan. So that's what we're going to, and so this week, the element that we've talked about the customer, we've talked about the relationship that we have with the customer, we've talked about, I'm trying to think of some of the other revenues, where you're going to get that, how your network, who are you networking with, because no business sits by itself as an island. So we talk about the networking and how important that element of things is. So this week it's about the key activities, and you have a ton of them. Okay. So without further ado, I do want to introduce everybody. This is Crystal Burrell with the Missing Plug, and hey, welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you. And so tell us a little bit about, start off with a little bit about your background, because I think we all like to know, how did you become an entrepreneur? What was the thing that, just tickled that bone in you that says, man, I got to do this. But, there's more, and it's a lot of it has to do with parenting and family life. So go as far back as you need to tell us how you became an entrepreneur.
All right. Well, I'm not going to go that far back, but... I think when you say the thing that's tickling you, I want to say it was Chester, in a bigger, to make it really simple. So I went to Chester High School. I graduated 2011. It's been 10 years. It's crazy. 10 years since I graduated high school, and I went straight to Bloomsburg University. And I went for social work because I always wanted to help people and things like that. So I'm just all right, I'll go for social work. That's all I need to know. Basically in college, I was super unfulfilled. It's so crazy. It's you have these great opportunities, and it's what am I doing here? So I end up leaving. I end up going home, and so before I get home, one of the key things, I was always a Chester girl. So it was always a lot of Philly people, especially Black people kind of, we had our circle. Mm-hmm. Mainly everybody there was from Philly. So I'm the Chester girl. So of course, everything that people know about Chester is bad. So I'm on YouTube showing them Yes God videos, look, we're doing this and we're doing that. So once I came home, I felt there was a need to really shine a light on what's going on here. I started personally in music. I love rap music. So I started out with the rappers and the artists and stuff, blogging and doing interviews, just trying to put that out there. So in 2015, I had my first showcase at Open Mike's Cafe, and that was just great. It was a great time for people in my age group. There wasn't a lot of events going on at the time. Overtown was on the up and coming, but it wasn't as grand as it is now. And that was just a great time in you know, in our history in Chester. And pretty much from there, I was having like different events for my company, like networking events, more showcases, and people started asking me like, can you help me put this together? So that's kind of how I got into event planning. Just putting on events and getting better and better at it, and like being able to like connect all these pieces,
Right.
as
right,
well
right.
as promote it. So
Oh, cool.
that's the shortest way I can tell that story.
But you were, I think you make the point though that you were working, and, you know, in a regular job, and then just one day you said,
Yeah, so I always was a waitress. Before I even went to college, that was like the only type of job I've had. I've been in like the hospitality business for like years. I've been a waitress, a cook, a host. And you know, there you make like $2.80 something cents an hour. So everything you're making is off of your tips. So it's still not a standard job, but just being in that industry after like 8 years, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this anymore either. So I already had the Missing Plug going for a few years at that time, but just as like a blog, a media outlet. So I wasn't really making money like that, but I was just like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. So I tried to quit a few times, and I had to go back to the working field. The last time I went back is when I got pregnant. You know, so I'm like, all right, I do need the security or whatever. But after like my son being a year, I was like, okay, I think my business is good enough. And I remember I walked out. Well, I didn't walk out. It was like the end of the shift, and I was just like, look, I'm not doing this no more.
eh.
And I just never went back. So.
And and that was how long ago?
So it's been 2 years. In April, the April that just passed. It's been 2 years, and I've just been a full-time entrepreneur, and I love it.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, so you have, I think you indicated to me, you've got 3 separate sort of elements of your business. What are they? Can you go through them?
Okay, so I have 3 different packages, but I'm in basically like 3 different industries. So I offer like event planning services as well as media planning services and music planning services. So those are just like 3 different industries I'm in. As far as my packaging, I found a creative way to be able to help people without like having to charge them as much. So I have like a planning and coordinating package. Basically, you know, if you need an event planner, if you need a media planner, someone to help organize, that's my well-connected package. So then I have a package called Rent a Plug. And that's basically like people renting me. So you don't need the full package, but you can get me as a host. You can get me as like the sign-in girl, you know, working one element of your event. And then the third package is called Plug Connects. It's pretty much people are constantly coming to me like, hey, Crystal, do you know where I can find a venue, where I can find a DJ, where I can find a photographer? And for the longest, like, you know, I'm trying to get these people to be my planning clients. But I realized that that's a lane too. So I basically charge people to do vendor searches. I get them 4 to 5 options, depending on what they're looking for. I get all the information. I do all the booking for them.
Right.
You know, so it's still a way to be able to get connected and work with the Missing Plug, but if you don't have the biggest budget,
Right.
you know.
Right. So let me just back up a little bit to make sure I understand each one of those. So Well Connected is about helping folks connect out either through social media, right, or it's an online presence. I mean, connected, or is it just personal, you know, one-on-one networking? It may make sure I understand what that is really about. What's the service
Okay,
there?
so the main service is like, so it's planning and coordinating. So it is a combination of sorts, but it's mainly like being your event planner.
Okay.
Or being like your media planner. So like right now I have a client that I'm helping develop an audio podcast. So it's like all those elements.
And that's what I'm asking. So you do media planning in addition to event planning. Those are very different things, right?
Well, really not. So I think to outside looking in, they're very different. But for me, they're like literally the same thing. The only thing that's different is like your vendors. So if we're putting together a media project, like a pre-recorded live stream show, my vendors will be a videographer. It might be host. You know, it's a little different than an event where you're using a location, a DJ, a photographer.
Okay.
And my job is to organize all of that, specifically focusing on your program. So for a show like this, I would help with the timeline, the content, making sure you're staying on time.
Right.
You know.
Right. Okay. So I think I understand a little bit more about, and then you said Rent a Plug, they're just renting you. So is that where you do like, you know, you're presenting for a business to say, you know, let me tell you about this business? Is that when they're renting you?
So they're renting me to do a certain service. So they're renting me to either host their event.
Okay.
To be the moderator of the conversation.
Okay.
To be, you know, if you go to an event, sometimes you have like the sign-in people. I will organize that. Kind of where the social media part comes in, just naturally because of my background is media. So I just include that for all my clients. I promote all my clients, whether it's social media, whether it's word of mouth, any way I can plug my clients in, I try to.
Right.
But that's not the main service. The main service is planning.
Gotcha.
And I know a lot of people don't really understand that until you come to a consultation. And then you're like, wow.
Right. Well, so you obviously, I mean, I've seen what you have online. You have a sort of a brochure of these are the things that we do. This is the kind of stuff that you can expect to go through, you know, as we plan an event for you or plan some kind of activity. Right. So that's cool. I mean,
Thank you.
So one of the things that I know that a lot of small businesses struggle with is how to present themselves online or through either social media or through an event or something like that. They don't always recognize the impact that it can have or how to do it well, right? How to present yourself through social media or through an event. There's subtleties. So what are the real sort of nuggets of things that you really try to focus on in making sure that if a business is going to present itself, what are the things that you try to focus on in getting them presented well?
I think my main thing, in no matter if it's a media project, it's a music video, anything, it's like, what's your intent and being intentional. So to the outside looking in, it might just seem like an event, you know, something that like a little party, a mixer, but what are you doing intentional in that event to make sure that people walk away? It's also like the call of action. What do you want people to do next? Do you want them to follow you on social media? Do you want new subscribers on your website? Do you want them to come to the next event? It's basically, those are things that I think about that the average event planner doesn't. But that's only because of my background. You know, even in some of my packages, I include like digital marketing flyers. Because, you know, I'm connected to some graphic designers. Just those little things, the way your flyer looks, you know, posting on social media, those things just can make a difference. And a lot of like older businesses that have been around a lot longer, they're starting to catch on. And that's kind of where I come to help. Because I'm like, look, just do this, do that.
Well, you know, and this is and P, and I think you know this from some of the conversations we've had with some of the businesses in the area that there's a need for this kind of capability.
Oh yeah, Crystal knows there's a need for her, right? It just all comes down, like she said in the beginning. You know, she was into the interviewing and talking to the music artists, and then as she progressed, as she evolved, right? She said, "Oh no, there's a need here." Right, and that's what you have to do in your business. You can't just come in and say, "This is what I'm going to do." You got to look at the area and study out the area. Right. And she's learned for the last 10 years. She's been in the game, right? So you know, the missing plug is somebody that I use for my coordination services, right? Everybody uses the missing plug, right?
Oh, that's great.
If you don't use the missing plug, you're missing out on something.
You're missing out.
Hey.
Right. That's a good line.
I know, right? I'm like,
think about that.
I need my money.
So how do things go in the pandemic? Has that had any effect on, or is
oh my
did
God.
it shift things a little bit?
Yeah, definitely shifted, learning to adapt, but I'm in the event industry primarily. Because it took the pandemic for people to realize, like, oh, she can play media stuff, she can play music stuff. So it was helpful in that part, but like I work with a venue, so it was shut down for months. Events, it's limited amount. People don't really want people at their house. There's no venue, so it definitely sat me down for a few months. But I can say it was very good because in that time I was able to get certified in event management.
Okay, so you took that's good. You took advantage of that downtime to boost your skills. Yeah.
They had a lot of free online courses from like legit universities and stuff at that time. So I got it certified in event management, hospitality, and tourism. Just to have something, you know, just to show on my portfolio. So it helped in that ways. It helped be able to organize. I'm one of the people, I'm constantly running. So to be in a time where like literally you can't do anything, it definitely helped me organize and like kind of refocus, I would say. Awesome.
Do you use what they call customer relationship management tools in order to CRM tools in order to keep track of the folks that you have to, I need to contact so-so, I need to contact, they haven't gotten back to me in, a week, I need to get back in touch with them. There's tools for that. Do you use it?
So I do, so I don't want to say I don't. I use the bare minimum tools, so I just hired a virtual assistant. So he's like on me, like, why don't you just use that, Crystal? Google is my best friend, so I keep everything in like my Google Sheets, my Google Docs. So I think, you know, in this year I'll be transitioning to like better tools, if that makes sense. But it's super helpful. I basically have like a computer on my phone.
There's a lot of them out there. I was recently, so I'm an entrepreneur too. I have the same issue. I've got to maintain relationships with clients. And this isn't a major endorsement, but I did find a tool that is free that I have been absolutely thrilled with. Integrates directly with Gmail. And it's called Streak. That, you know, I don't make any money in the endorsement, but I can tell you it has saved my life. I mean, because at any point in time as a consultant, I can be juggling relationships with 10, 20 people that, you know, they're at various stages, what they call the pipeline of where are they in the process of deciding on moving forward with a project, or defining what that project may be, or we may have, you know, we're about to schedule, you know, they're firmly scheduled or, you know, I use it even for this show. Where I'll say, okay, we've got different guests that we know about. First of all, you know, there's a pipeline for that where we know about them. They've heard about us. We've had a conversation that says, hey, you know, might like to be on the show. And then we start walking through a conversation where it's like, okay, next, it's like, okay, what's your business about, and you know, what kind of information, you know, would you like to share out with the community so that they know what you're about? Then do we have a scheduled date for you? And so there's what they call a pipeline. But the same thing happens for you, where you will find out about a potential client. You'll start the dance, as they say, right? You'll start thinking about, okay, what does your event? When do you want to have it? Where do you want to have it? What are the elements of it? All the little details that you start thinking about in your head to say. And I tell you, this has been a tool that has saved my life.
Really?
I mean, it is just absolutely simplified the process of keeping track of it. And you know. There are others, and I'm not saying it's the only one out there. There's ones you can spend, you know, a lot of money for. But as a solopreneur, which is what I am, when you are basically the same thing, a solo entrepreneur, you know, having a simple tool to keep track of your email and all of the contacts that you're building up and things. And sometimes it'll be like you might have a business where there's multiple contacts.
Yeah, I have a lot of, I do like a lot of documents, a lot of files. I have to write a lot of proposals. Right. So I kind of keep it, well, I have like the app on my phone, and then like, I even have a task list. So I have like goals, well, this is what I call it, the goals before I die. Stuff I want to accomplish. And then I have like what I'm doing in 2021. And then I have like what I should be doing that week. And sometimes it gets even bad where I have to like write out each day. But yeah, that's kind of like creating a system that works for you is like super important. And there is a lot of tools out there, like you said. Streak
transformed everything, because I used to do all the same stuff you're doing, but independently, just like that. All this stuff, this is all in one. It all integrates attachments. You've got, give it. I mean, just or any tool. I'm not focused on that one, but something called Customer Relationship Management, CRM tools, and integrates marvelously with the Google Suite. So really impressed with it. So cool. You set up a website. Did you have help doing that?
So I've had the website for so long, so it's been a little bit of me, a little bit of other people. It's currently getting redone by Tech Now Mobile, so I'm super hyped to see it.
Good. Are they also local?
So their primary services, they like fix phones, laptops, like technology stuff. But he also does have like business packages. So yeah, he's doing my website for me. So I'm so excited to see how it is. So the one you saw, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's been a little bit back and forth. But I think the more you grow, you learn like you definitely need people in place to do what they're good at. So I can create websites, but that's not my expertise. So I want to put it in someone's hands who's like, that's what they do.
I think that is amazingly good advice for anyone.
And I had to learn it. And some stuff I'm still on my phone making flyers every once in a while. But when it comes to the award show, I'm gonna head up to Priest, you know? So it's like knowing what you're good at.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because your time is best focused on the stuff that delivers value to your customer. Let people who know, like, I don't ask P to, I mean, I don't try to do what he does. There's no way I can do that.
I don't try to do what he does.
and it works, right? This is where you build. And so I was going to get into this. You sound like you have an amazingly large Rolodex of networking folks that you have to call on. I mean, and I want to promote that because that's a value in that Rolodex, right?
It's crazy because I know what that is. Rolodex.
Oh, yeah.
That's
It's a
how
very
my
old term.
That's how old my parents are.
Yeah.
They used to have one. But yeah, so my phone, that is my Rolodex.
That is your Rolodex. Sure.
And my social media platform, that's everyone's Rolodex, for real, for real. But yes, it's crazy because one of my clients just was telling me, like, you need to make sure you have all those people written down because you're supposed to be missing plug. And it's crazy because it's like, I do. You know, it's just so much stuff trying to compile it in like these little lists.
Yeah, you got to do a little bit
It's
every night.
crazy.
A little bit every night.
I know.
A little bit every night.
Because you just mentioned Dupreece, but Dupreece has a business. What's the name of her business?
Northern Marketing.
There it is. Right?
Yes, we should
She's
shout
on
out.
the
Northern
first-
Marketing is one of the
right.
sponsors for
Yes,
CMP
I
Radio.
know.
She's on a first name basis with a lot of people, so she'll drop a name thinking you know, but you know, a
I
lot
know,
of
you
these
know, you're
names
right.
are businesses and
Right.
legit businesses that are good for the community. And I say, if we're using them and other people begin to use them,
Right.
Exactly.
If I'm promoting Northern Marketing and somebody sees it and calls Northern Marketing and then promotes her, now other people are using her, and that's the word of mouth situation that we need
Yes.
in this community.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and one of the interesting things about me doing this show, rather than somebody who's lived here forever, I mean, I've lived around for a while, but I haven't lived here forever.
Okay.
Is that I come in sort of from just a complete newbie's perspective and say, hey, how's that working? How's that working? How's that working? And I get to ask dumb questions sometimes that, you
It's
know.
okay. It's all right. We forgive you. We absolutely forgive you.
I absolutely ask dumb questions because I don't know.
Right.
But I can tell you what the network means. I know how important a network is.
Right.
And you clearly do. I know what the business canvas is supposed to look like, and I can tell whether somebody's thought about their business enough,
Right.
based on the stuff
Is that what you consult for, like businesses?
that and other stuff. I mean,
Okay.
so I'm in technology, research and development. So there's a lot of other things that go with that. But I can tell you, there is not one single business that I work with that doesn't think about the elements of a business plan for every product or service that they want to put out. So there's that's why I know these things without even having to write them down or
Right.
work on, like there's nothing here on my sheet here that I'm working from. This is all, I've done it way too many times now. I can just rattle it off because it's so common that if you're not thinking about, so this is the great thing. I mean, Pete talked about, you got 10 years of being integrated with your community to know, okay, this is how my community works. This is the kind of services that I need to be providing. And you've tailored it over that period of time. A deep understanding of the customer, the relationships that they have amongst themselves, the relationships that you can have with them. That's gold in that.
Yeah, and I don't want people to confuse that with, because I think sometimes it's like you understand the community, so you're supposed to like lower your price. I think sometimes people confuse that. So kind of what I've been able to do, because I don't want people to always feel bad for everybody. But what I'm able to do, if I get a certain amount of like clients that pay me like the rate I asked for, I can take those other clients at a discounted rate. So that's kind of something I've been able to do, and it works best for everybody because that way I can help everybody without cheating myself.
Right.
I think as entrepreneurs sometimes we either like, no, I'm not going to lower than my price, and then you lose out on opportunities, or you're just like always giving people discounts. And then it's like not really a business because you never make profit.
That's right.
Ooh.
Right. I mean, once you understand that you can't,
It took a while though. I'm not
Right.
gonna lie.
you can't possibly. And how long do you think it took you?
Like last year.
A long time, 9 years. It took me 3 years to understand that I have something worth paying for, and it took me 3 years to understand that I can't continue to do the things that I do for free.
Exactly.
I can't move for you the way you want me to move and give you all the bells and whistles for a little bit of money, right? Because it's
Right.
not paying for my time, my effort, and the fact that we're going live or I'm recording your situation. We need to talk about compensation, right?
Right. And
how that
everybody's
looks.
not your client either. That's
Right.
something I had to learn. So it's like your end user and then your client.
Okay.
So my end user usually isn't my client, but they still benefit.
Right.
So I also had to learn that as I learned business.
So what is the end user? Because that's a new word. I just heard about that.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, it's basically like the people who benefit from what you do. So for me, it's like the people who come to the events, the people who watch my stuff on social media. They might not necessarily be a client. Oh, and even the vendors.
Okay.
So a lot of my vendors are full-time entrepreneurs as well. So for me to be able to like plug them into gigs where they're getting paid, you know what I'm saying? They get to benefit from it. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, there's all definitions of it. That's the thing,
Okay.
because And what the category I lump them into is a group of stakeholders.
Okay.
So some of them are end users of your product, but they're like your partners, your network of like the DJs and all. They are a stakeholder.
Okay.
Even though they're not an end user of your product, they are certainly a stakeholder because they have a stake in your success. Right. They benefit when you do well. And likewise,
right,
you benefit when they do well. If they, if you've got a good relationship with a DJ or something like that, and you know they're doing well with their people want them, well, you're going to want to bring them in. There's a symbiotic relationship that builds, and that's awesome. That's people. You know, one of the things that I have to coach literally, even other small businesses that are not small by most standards. I mean, they're 100 times bigger than me. They don't recognize always that those relationships that you know about, that you appreciate all the different stakeholders, and the fact that you can pick up the phone and get DJ so and so here, or I can pick up the phone and I can get venue X on that date.
Right.
You know, because I know the owner and I've got a good relationship with me. They know that I'm going to bring them business consistently, so they make me a priority for them. The relationship that you have with all those stakeholders is worth money.
Absolutely.
Right.
It is absolutely worth money, and it needs to be protected in something. It's a term that we haven't talked much about here, but intellectual property of your business is in that gold.
It's all relationships.
It's all relationships. And well, it's not all that, because you have some know-how of stringing it. You said you do proposals all the time.
But I would definitely not be able to do what I do without them.
Of course. Well,
you know.
and they couldn't do what they do without you either. So there's but how to write it up effectively in a proposal. You say you've gotten do a lot of them, and so you've probably gotten really good at it.
Yeah.
You can estimate
I can add little pictures and stuff.
Yeah, sure. No, there's all kinds of ways. Just you want to heighten the emotion of it. You want to make people feel like, I'm really going to get something. You can show them a picture of what a venue, what an event at venue looks like, or what it looks like when people are dancing in the middle of the street. As you did in your video. And I don't know, Pete, did we get the videos up? I don't know whether the videos they didn't come through yet. Unfortunately, we're tech challenged a little bit today because this is our first day and we just didn't get everything lined up. But it's all on your website, right? I mean, all of the videos.
Yeah, and social media. Yeah. That's where I got it from. I
have
to go back there.
Yeah. That's cool. That's great. So, I think one of the questions that we get is, what's the way that you network to find new clients? Is it all word of mouth, or are there other things that you do to find new clients? I mean, again, I understand, Pete telling me you've been around here a long time, you probably don't need much help in it, but do you actually actively go out and seek clients through other means other than just word of mouth?
I do, because it's always about being intentional. So social media is a way. There's specific tools. Shout out to Northern Marketing again. She gave me a whole little chart. So being intentional about your posting, because sometimes when you're doing the work, you forget to post. So I had to get good at that type of stuff. Marketing. Marketing is not only social media. It's just being intentional, going to events to network. For me, no matter where I go, I'm always have that mindset of networking. I wonder who owns this or that. So just with my conversations, naturally, it always goes to business some type of way. So that's a way that I'm constantly finding clients. And then just doing a good job.
Right.
I learned that it's not about how many clients you have. It's about the quality of your work. Yeah. And then you kind of don't really need to focus on, at one point in my business, it was get clients, get clients, get clients. I'm in a season right now where I don't need to post on social media. It's for clients,
Right.
But that might not always be a thing.
So you go through seasonal, so summertime is obviously pretty big because there's a lot of outdoor events.
And COVID. So it was COVID. So now that the restrictions are lifting out, people want to do more. They've been waiting forever. So the event business was down, and now it's shooting up.
Right.
Just in different ways. Cool. And then me, in the time of COVID, I was able to build my portfolio.
Right.
Doing different things. So it kind of went it's a win-win.
Huh. So you're just stronger as a result of all of it, and more refined. You've got a better, clearer sense of
a focus.
Yeah,
A better focus. And with me, it's more experience based. Everything I know is more just because like I either went through it or someone, like one of my clients went through it. So it's just like Pierre was saying, you know, it's like the growth. As I grow, my business will grow, and so will like everyone who's attached. So,
Nice. Yeah, very nice. That's great. So there's a couple of you have a couple of key clients, I understand, in the community.
Okay.
Is that right? Are you, and so it's okay. We're going to take a break, and so I want to kind of tickle everybody that we're going to talk about maybe Cat.
Okay.
And one other.
What's up?
Community Spotlight with Amanda Johnson is
Okay.
that another one that we can talk about a little bit in terms of the kind of things that you do and
Yeah, that's fine.
just as examples. So we're going to take a break here. I want to just you can have a seat. I want to because this radio station doesn't run by itself.
Right.
It absolutely takes a team of folks working to all behind the scenes.
Amen.
Who most people don't see, don't understand the impact of what it takes to be here. And I want to point out, that it's important that we, as a community, I support what CMP Radio is doing. We want all the businesses to appreciate, just like they appreciate having good quality events,
Right.
that they appreciate that having a communications channel is essential to community cohesiveness, informing and engaging the community all over the place. And so what my question, I think, for a lot of folks out there listening and watching, you've been watching now hopefully for, this is episode 8, we're getting into a groove here. This is a new groove today with our in-studio programming. But in any case, we are really, inviting you to come in, be a guest on the show, sponsor the program. And because this station, if you didn't know it, touches every hour with every one of its posts 10,000 people across the Chester area. And on special event days, big sports events that are covered by CMP, they can be upwards of 70,000 people watching the programs that are coming through on CMP Radio. That is a monumental impact for the community. You can be your business, your nonprofit, your event activity can be presented through CMP Radio, and we're happy to do that. That's what this station is built on. Cultivating Mature Positivity is about the positivity of working together as a community. I'm thrilled to be able to be here, to be part of that. In the last 3 months or so, I have become increasingly aware of the energy, the enthusiasm, the network, the strength of Chester as a business community, because I'm getting to know a lot of business people. It is an electric place, and CMP has been monumental at connecting a lot of that effort together. It's through the work of JP, of Uncle P, to bring together a critical team here, to find a location, a venue where people can come and talk about their programs and talk about the activities that they're connected with, and to connect to others who have a similar interest. What we are doing, just real quick, and I'll close out, is we have a survey out online. I want you to go out and look for the survey that is on the CMP Radio Facebook page. It'll be posted at some point. It gets posted every now and then, but look for the survey. We are very interested in new content for programs here on CMP Radio. We want you to let us know what you think. Gives you some opportunities to tell us what time of day you listen, what other kinds of interest and other details that might affect your listenership, so that we can tailor programs around your needs. Much like you go and you're going to tailor certain event things to the kind of business that it is. We want to do exactly the same thing with CMP. And this summer, we're going to be looking at retooling and re-engaging a whole bunch of stuff around the programming here on CMP Radio. We want you to be part of that. Go out and fill out the survey. This is a station that is connecting. More and more is the voice of Chester, and I'm thrilled to be part of it. So with that, we're back. And I thank you for coming in. This is hard to do. to be on camera, doing all these things. I appreciate that you're willing to do it.
See, we laugh at things like that, don't we, Crystal?
Oh yeah, I've been
We
doing this
always
for
on
so
camera.
long. He was like, "You been here before?"
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
Kind of,
Live
well,
down the street.
Yeah, I'm completely new to this, so it's just one of those things. So tell us a little bit about how you became, I guess you're the chief, or the lead for CAT?
Yeah, so I call myself the booking agent, similar to a manager, I could say. So basically what I do, it's at the CAT Center, so that's the Culture, Arts, and Technology Center. So pretty much, I'm the booking agent. I handle the calendar. I do the tours. Because we have event spaces, but we also have like media rooms. We have classrooms, boardrooms, office spaces. So there's so much there for entrepreneurs and nonprofits. So my job is kind of to control the calendar, make sure that the rental clients have what they need as far as setup. I'm usually there during the events, kind of making sure I'm not like in the event as if I was the planner, but I'm in the building. So like if they need anything, things like that.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And you're a sponsor. Let's see. Has a question. So let me real quick. I want to give a shout out to Lakeisha Lawrence for all of her efforts. She and I have been talking increasingly over the last several weeks on what she does in Mind Our Own Business, which is her business directory here in Chester.
Yeah.
She's been working on bringing another show here into CMP Radio, and but I collaborate with her. So as a shout out to her, she's working right now. So, but she and I work on the questions that we want to ask our guests.
Okay.
She knows a lot about it. She has some very strong interest in things, and I'm grateful that she's able to do that. So she provided me with some questions that I'm sharing with you, and I want to thank her for her participation. I may not always mention her, but I want everybody to know that I am talking to Lakeisha. She's doing a great job of building out her business, and I'm happy to support that as well. So he says, how did you become a sponsor for Kahim Murray? Is that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. You were on my social media, huh? I was like, who's that? All right, so I used to work with him.
Okay.
So I've done like a whole bunch of random jobs, but we both worked at the welfare office in Chester. So he just happened to be what do they call it? Because he's not a boxer. He's like one of them people, martial arts.
Okay, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he just reached out to me around the time of his fight and was like, I know that you do a lot of stuff in Chester. I'm looking for sponsors. And yeah, that's kind of how that went. So it was a cool experience. I didn't get to go to the actual fight because it was like during COVID and like nowhere near here.
Right.
But it was nice to have my brand represented there.
Yeah. Oh, so he was so that's your way of connecting with new clients. Being part of something that's really popular within the community, right? So I presume there's a lot of people that follow Kahim's work. Right, and the fights that he's involved with. I mean, so you can be out there. Yeah, it's the same. Sponsorship is a great way to get your message out.
Yeah, to try to do it. I've done Chester Biddy, our basketball league. My dad's a coach for them, so I had a team like 2 years in a row. So that was kind of cool to see like the little kids with like the Missing Plug jerseys on.
Right.
So I really hope the league comes back.
Oh, I hope so too.
Yeah.
I hope so too. And then let's see. So Lakeisha says, as the Missing Plug, your brand speaks volume. So how did you come up? How did you come up with the name? What was the?
People always ask me that, and I need to come up with like a better answer because I really don't know. I think it's just something that I was like naturally, and then once I put the words together, I'm like, that's me, or whatever. Yeah.
So because you see yourself as a connector, I take it is that you're saying I'm the missing piece.
Yeah, and it's sorts. So, and I wasn't referring to business at the time when I started.
Okay.
It was more so like I'm the Missing Plug, like I'm in the know. But just naturally, even before the business, I'm kind of been that person to connect.
Gotcha.
That person to be like, oh, I know so and so is doing this. So it just kind of naturally happened. But I have no idea when the name dropped out of the sky. But I was like, that's my name, and it's been the name. I did try when I was in college. I tried to write a blog called The What's Up. And it just didn't stick. I was trying to write about like celebrity things and like things I didn't personally care about. And it just didn't stick, obviously. So once the Missing Plug came, it was like, yeah, that's perfect.
Good. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So along the way, you've been doing this for a few years now. You've had some successes, but you might have also had what we call challenges. I won't call them failures,
Yeah.
because everything is a learning opportunity, you know.
Right.
But so tell us some learnings that did you ever have an event that just flopped?
Oh Lord. I don't want to talk about my clients.
You don't have to, well, you don't have to call out anybody. I mean,
oh wow. Because there's a few, but I'm just trying to, be professional. No, okay, so I can say that the first wedding I ever did, so I've worked in hospitality. So I've done, different events under other people's umbrella. But the first wedding that I coordinated, under the Miss Unplugged was, a few years ago. And it was a disaster. It was such a disaster. It was, vendors were late. The clients were, doing way too much. The food was cold. It was, it was a tough night. So I definitely learned different things, just different things I could have did better,
right.
Different things I need to screen in clients before I accept them. So that's kind of the thing. Like you said, I don't even walk away from events now thinking oh, that was a flop. It's kind of I learned something from there 9 times out of 10. So.
And sometimes you learn more than other times, but clearly that was one of those things that we learn about scheduling. Okay, if you're not here on time, I'm not paying.
Or dealing with your vendors inside of someone else's. So I recently just did a wedding, and it was a lot better, let's say.
Right.
But if I didn't go to that first one, I probably wouldn't have learned, different things to keep my eye out for.
Right.
So.
Right. Well,
A wonderful and beautifully put together wedding
Oh, thank you.
that was shot
by yours truly.
Yeah, absolutely.
See,
On Mother's Day, right? A wedding on Mother's Day.
Yeah, she had a wedding on Mother's Day.
It was a little rainy, right? But she put it together.
Yeah, we had a lot of challenges, but what made it a good event was just we kept rolling through the punches. The venue kept rolling through the punches, and that's what made it. Instead of people just being it rained a few times, and it was an outside wedding. So picture that.
What are the best venues in Chester for holding outdoor events or indoor events? Where do you like to really host places?
Well, I'm gonna just say the Cat Center because that's home base.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it's whatever you need, we got. But if you want 200 people, obviously we can't fit that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cat Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But if it is 200 people, where would you go?
Oh yikes, that's been an issue.
Wow.
I'm gonna say. Well,
So shout out to any entrepreneurs out there who want to set up a place that can handle 200 people. There's an opportunity.
I mean, we do have some. So we have Cash Studios. You have the Overtowns. You have Dream Lounge, MJ Free Theater, City Hall. So there's a few. It's just kind of I don't know. I'm looking for more out of venues nowadays.
Right.
Say that again.
Sanaa Dior.
Oh yeah, yes. How can I forget her?
We have tons of places.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have that big place.
Yeah, I want better options.
Right. Back in the day, they used to, the fire halls or the fire stations would have halls next door.
Right.
The Wilson Center, right? I know they're supposed to
Even
fix
the
that
Y,
in
they're not
Chester
open no more.
Township. The Y, right? We don't have those options anymore, right? They closed up and people moved away and things moved away. But I think the fact that Crystal is working the network that she's working, right? She might end up owning the place one day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's absolutely dope, right? Because we need people that want to do what she does, right? That wants to say, all right, you need an event coordinator, right? I don't know I need an event coordinator until I see Crystal coordinate an event and say, you know how stressless that would be if Crystal is responsible for it and she's actually on game. Listen, she coordinated the last RaiseAthon we had. Right, and I know I was a prima donna in my situation because I wanted to go the way I wanted to go. But her, Angel, and the ladies, they really helped me out a whole lot. Right, there was a lot of things that I didn't have to worry about, along with the things that I had to worry about. Right, so it was very, very dope. And she's actually coming back again to do our August 21st situation and to make sure the shows are running accordingly. And everybody's on point.
Well, I wasn't going to ask until you mentioned it because I didn't know whether she was going to be involved in the RaiseAthon.
Yeah,
so that's great. I mean, so it would start. We're not going to talk about it all now, but I think over the summertime we're going to be hyping the heck out of that because that's a great thing.
Yeah, planning is going to start soon. People don't realize it's already summertime in my calendar.
Yeah.
So.
It's 3 months away. Is not long. It's just not long at all. So yeah.
Not at all. But I'm definitely excited. So I would definitely want people to support. I'll definitely be on you. You gotta be on time. This is what you need to talk about.
Well, so this is the thing about the RaiseAthon is that it is promoting businesses. You know, the end user in that case isn't just the business; it's also the customers of that business. But really, the focus is about letting the businesses know that that CMP Radio is here, or that the Missing Plug is here, or that there are other sponsors that we have available that are all there to promote local businesses and engage.
Right.
And you know, it's not raising money; it's raising awareness, right? That's the raise part of RaiseAthon and getting them involved. And I'm excited. This is going to be a really cool thing. I've never been in one. I wasn't here last year,
Okay.
but I am excited to see it and to see it all. I mean, having you all have gone through one time. Now you've learned some things last time,
Right.
and going to go do it again,
Yeah.
right, P? I mean, you guys are gonna, turn up the heat a little bit this time
Yeah,
around.
we're gonna turn up the heat this time. I have a couple different people out here that's gonna be going over to the big businesses and talking to them about what the radio station is. We're gonna start that in June. We're coming out with flyers. We're coming out with Facebook frames like we did last year. We have a shirt that's in the marketing right now, getting done. So I feel like I want to give my people more. It's been 3 years the station has been running. In September it'll be our 4th year.
Yeah.
We're gonna do our 4th year anniversary show as well. So just letting people know that CMPRadio.net is the voice of Chester, right? We definitely are on the move and we're doing great things. So
Absolutely.
just to continue to work, man. Continue to work, find the sponsors, right? So that work doesn't have to cost so much.
Right.
Right. And once we do that, man, I think everything will present itself, right? You can have shows where people are coming in and talking about particular things, particular items, and that'll be dope. That'll be absolutely dope.
Absolutely. So we're getting towards the end. This is where I ask the tough questions. Where are you going? What is next for Crystal Burrell
So
and the
many
Missing
things.
Plug?
So many things I can say. I think you just need to kind of pay attention and watch. But what I can tell you is the Missing Plug Awards 2021 is definitely in the planning stages. So it's definitely coming back. That's a big thing for Chester. We couldn't have last year because of COVID. So I really want to make this special. So when I talked about theaters and the different venues in Chester, it's like I'm trying to find the perfect place. So I don't know if it's going to end up here or if I'm going to have to go outside. But either way, it's going to be a night for a special. So definitely follow me if you're not, so that you can be the first person to find out what's going on.
Did you say something about an award show?
Yes, it's coming back.
It's coming back?
Yes, of course. It's always in September, so it's coming back.
All right, let's go.
And the award show. So a lot of event planners will do sort of event shows.
Right.
You're familiar with what they'll do is they'll have an event, but the event is to show off all their vendors, the food.
Right.
The food, the decorations, the music, all the different things, the videographers, the audio, the DJs. They'll have an event, but it's there to highlight all the stakeholders, all of your suppliers will be brought in. Whether you can have 2 or 3 different DJs, you can have 2 or 3 different videographers, you can have 2 or 3 different photographers, and any of that stuff. But it's all on display.
Right.
Like you might. Rent out the Cat Center for an evening and just invite people to come in and have a glass of wine or something like that and say, hey, let me show you my wares. This is a chance for, and if you're thinking about a wedding, or if you're thinking about, a family event, or you're thinking about something like that, you come on in because this is your big time. And if you tie that into the 21st, the 2021 awards,
Yeah.
well,
that's literally what it is. So, yeah, it's literally, like you said, like in a business scheme of things, that's literally what it is to show people my work and what I can do. So it's like the event planning part, we have a red carpet, we have, how the event goes, but then it gets into media because we usually have like a TV or a monitor with different things happening there. Then we have to coordinate the actual music performances.
Right.
So it's all the services I offer in one big show. So a lot of people see, it's just an award show, but for me, it is like make it or break it, how the year is gonna go.
Right. Wow, I love it.
That's how hard I take it anyway.
But so I asked you before, where are you going? Are there other kinds of services that you anticipate offering? I mean, other than just watching your Facebook page, I'm definitely gonna be doing that. But I mean, are you thinking that there's something that the community can do You know, if you look out at the competition, are there kinds of events that you don't do that you really are going to begin offering, or other elements of an event?
So I think this year, like I was saying with COVID, it definitely helped me be able to utilize and show off my media planning skills and my music planning skills. So I'm definitely going to work on showing people the different things. So like helping them with podcasts and helping them with like live stream shows, put together photo shoots, and the music thing. But something I've been like kind of dabbling in, but I haven't committed to, which I'm pretty sure I will end up, is business planning. Because all of my clients are entrepreneurs.
Right.
And so it always ends up, well, do you know someone who does a logo? Do you know someone who can do my website? So I think I will, I think that's something that I'll probably add on. Probably after the award show, make it official, but just show people the different ways they can use my services have been super exciting. Because people had me in the interview box for so long, then I finally had them realize, okay, she can plan stuff. And then they had me in this event planner bubble for so long, and they're like, wait, but you can do my media stuff, like my media tour, you can coordinate that, and you can coordinate my event, you know? So it's kind of just showing them. Like, I could tell you all day, I can have it on my website, but it's just like Pierre said, it's like, you need to see it, you know, the different things. So all my clients, I love when they come to me with different ideas that have never been done, because it's like, this is my way to show that I can do it, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Show and prove.
Yes,
Absolutely,
yes.
show and prove.
Absolutely. So I should have asked this before, but this is the moment when we get to you have a coupon.
Oh, yeah. So it's pretty much, thanks for having me on your show. So any Chester Masterminds clients that come to me, you can receive 10% off of any service from the Missing Plug. The keyword you must say is Mastermind, so that I know you watched the show today. And that's pretty much it. So you can refer, you know, let them know I'm here.
That's great. That's great.
Hey, Crystal, Masterminds, right?
Whatever.
Nah, I'm definitely excited about working with you. You know, I love working with you, right? I know I get on your nerves, you get on my nerves, but it's a mutual get on. We both get on each other's nerves to the point where
But we have a similar goal.
what we're trying to do, right?
And that's what it comes down to, entrepreneurs in general.
Right.
If you have a similar goal of like what you're trying to do, is like, why not try to help each other get there?
Absolutely.
Right.
So I'm excited for the RaiseAthon. I'm excited for the award show, and whatever else, you know.
Yeah. We got some things we're gonna do, man. We got some things going on, right? So I just want everybody to understand, you know, you can't have anything without synergy, right? You need synergy to get things done. You need other people to help you out, get things done. If I come up with a radio station, well, I need voices. Well, I need videographers. I need interns. I need more people that have dreams to want to do something. And I'm not trying to use them. I'm trying to give them an opportunity to show their talents, right? And to understand that you can get paid for this. I might not be paying you, but if you do it and then you go somewhere else and say, well, I was here and this is my portfolio or the things that I have to show you, then they be like, oh, man, yeah, we definitely take you. We definitely hire you. So, you know, I just want people to understand that, right? If it's not here, if you don't get paid here, you will get paid somewhere else.
That's right.
So just come here, play with the stuff in the radio station for a little bit, but go out there and do your thing, man. Absolutely.
One thing I want to say is, like, it's something you said. Tyler Perry had said when he accepted some award, he had said, like, for every dreamer, there's people that are tied into your dream. And that's something I'm learning every day. It's like, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, or what I feel like my purpose is here, I'm like letting all these other people down because they're tied into my dream. You know, if I'm not getting booked with clients, then this DJ, are they getting booked? You know, so it's definitely like what he's saying. It's like, it's super important.
It's the symbiotic nature of any local economic community. It's everybody benefits. You know, what goes around comes around, right?
Yeah.
And that's if you're passing out, goodness in terms of opportunities and visibility and these things. You know, the goodwill that goes with all that eventually comes back. People, you know, they may not say they remember, but they'll remember. Oh, you know me because you saw me in an event
even if it's
that was hosted by the Missing Plug, and that makes a difference.
When people do that, or they say like, my first time doing this was with you, it's like super, like, that's the full circle moment that lets me know like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Like, even recently, like, a lot of my siblings are like starting their own business and stuff, and it's super big for me because I was the entrepreneur. I was like the oddball. Everyone's like, no, I gotta go to work, you crazy. And now they're like, I quit my job, Crystal. And I'm looking at them like, what? But it's like such a you know, it's like a full circle. It makes me feel good because it's like all the stuff I've been doing has been working,
Right.
you know, in due time.
Awesome. I'm grateful that you could come in here and tell us about what's going on. It's been great to talk to you, and I look forward to seeing all the events that, you know, I mean, like I said, I'm learning, but I'm excited to see that somebody clearly with your talents knows how to put together events, because it's going to mean so much for the business community here in Chester. So, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in and telling us your history and all the things that you're doing as an entrepreneur. It's great. So P, I think, you know, we did it again.
Yeah, we did it again.
We did it again.
You did it again.
And well, it's
both of us.
It's everybody, and it's even that nice lady sitting next to you.
Portia P. That's right. I got Portia P in the building. Everybody want to know what's up with
She's
Portia.
being
P.
very
She's
quiet
right.
back in there,
Yep.
but she's been in there. She's helping out the station as well. It takes a team to do this stuff. It takes a team to make a business run. Right. We talk a lot about networking. We talk an awful lot about making sure that you are connecting with your customers. You know, the customers need, right? The people. If you have to know that the family that is gonna benefit from the host bringing you in, you want them to be happy. Right. And so it's really looking further down the road, one step or two steps ahead of where your actual paying customer is, to know how am I going to, because that customer is going to be really happy with you if their customer, the people that they care about having a good event for, are happy too. So all of this matters. The string is always so important. So next week, in the next couple of weeks, we've got a photographer. I believe we have an author coming in. I wanted to pull up my list real quick, but I think, and then I am working on getting 2 or 3 young people coming in June to talk about what they do as young entrepreneurs. Right. You know, we're gonna do that, and
we got a few young entrepreneurs. We got Zayball, right? He's a photographer.
Okay.
Right? Isaiah Freeman. So hit him up.
Yeah. We should maybe
a couple other young people. Right?
Yeah. So there's all kinds, and this is where a lot of people may not realize that an event planner is an entrepreneur like anything. They may not appreciate that that's something that's a job. You can actually do that and make money at it, right?
Right. I had no idea either, though. Trust me.
And I think that's not unusual. Photographers, writers, artists, people who, there are so many jobs. It's one of the reasons that I'm a huge fan of career tech education, because there's so many things besides just a pure academic career.
Right.
So many things to go do and be great at and love what you do and make money and help people and do all kinds of good things. So, that's what this show's about. We're connecting. The masterminds of this is about the network. And so people want to know about event planning. I want them to come to you, and we want them to appreciate all the network that you bring as well, and the experience. And it certainly sounds to me like you're more than happy to share and help other businesses be successful. So thank you so much, and thank you, P, once again for letting us do this. And I think we're done. I think that's good. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure to have Crystal up here. It's an absolute pleasure to have all the guests that we've had so far. Jim, I appreciate you, man. Everything you do for me, everything you do for the station, lead me down the right road. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. Rock on.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.